Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet with Jeannie, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's been on the hook. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that this particular crochet hook is not the one I usually use. I usually use my large PQ blue clover crochet hook to start my show with. And this one is an MN hook that I really like. I've used it a time or two. I have loaned out my blue hook to a friend and she's bringing it back to me on Monday, so I'll have it next week when I start my show. But right now I'm using my MN hook, and I want to say another word about clover hooks if I could. Clover hooks are probably the best hooks in the world. I've used all kinds of different brands of hooks, and these are actually the easiest to hold on to, and I'll tell you why. The handle of these is a rubbery material. It's not cheap rubber like sometimes you'll see on less expensive hooks. It is very easy to hold on to, and now that I'm older, I do understand the importance of not having to grab the hook so tightly, because when you're using an aluminum hook, you don't have anything to help you grab onto the hook. So you have to use your own power to do that. And when you're younger, it's not a big deal. But when you get older, a hook should be very easy to hold on to. It should not slip in your hand. You shouldn't have to put a lot of pressure on it to be able to control the head of the crochet hook. Just like this pencil, automatic, it's a mechanical pencil that I really like because it's got a rubber grip on it. And I don't have to hold on to it so hard like I did with a kind of expensive pen I used to have that was all aluminum, and I had to grab it so hard that my hand would get tired writing. So I found this one with the rubber gripper, and I really like it. So it's the same principle here. If you have a crochet hook that you crochet for hours with, you should not have to hold on to it that hard in order to control the head of the crochet hook when you're working. So just wanted to bring that up. I just think it's really important to use the best hook that you can find. Spend a little money on the hook that you use for your crochet fabric, not necessarily for your beginning chain and trim hooks, which I talk about in my patterns, but for your fabric crochet, you should use the very best hook you can afford. And these are not that expensive, but they're more expensive than many others. So I do recommend these though. You might want to get a crochet project and sit down and watch my video because it's going to be a little bit longer. I'm doing some catch up. I've been working on my pattern designs for Etsy, and I've got 4 out there now. And today I'm releasing another one. This is the Busy Bee top that I've had a lot of requests for. I did a video about it a couple of months ago. And it was just a design that I made up, and I never put the pattern out anywhere. I just, made the design. And I've had a lot of people ask me if I would write the pattern for it and put it out on Etsy. So I did. And it's out there right now with some extra photographs too. I'm starting to add on to my photographs instead of just a picture of me. I'm taking some pictures with Crystal, my beautiful mannequin over there, and she's going to model my other designs, and I'm going to put some more photos out there so you can see all the design elements on the different patterns. So if you want to choose one over the other, you can certainly do that, because you might want to look at how I did a neckband or a sleeve or whatever. So that's going out today, and I want to show you a little bit about it because it's what I'm wearing today. And if you're not familiar with the Busy Bee top, this is made from Premier Cotton Fair yarn. It is the Yellow Flash yarn. I love it, love it, love it. I used it actually on my side-to-side sweater for one of the stripes that was actually in the sweater, and this was one of the stripes. I used this on the whole sweater for the Busy Bee top, and I really like it. It's busy, so you can't see through it, which is another reason that I like wearing it. I do wear this quite often actually because it's a summer sweater. It's very loose. The air flows through it because I used a double crochet fabric to make this and a J hook. So that is how I made the fabric. And of course the neckband was made with a smaller hook, and the beginning chain is made with a larger hook. So I explain all that in my pattern, how you come up with that. Just a few things about this sweater. I sized it large. I sized it very loose around the bottom because I wanted it to flow straight down from the sleeves, and I didn't want it to fit me tight because it's a summer sweater and I want plenty of air under there if you know what I mean. So I've designed it so that it would have plenty of ease. So my side-to-side measurement in the back is probably has 2 to 3 inches extra on the side-to-side measurement, and you can do that on any of my patterns. You don't have to make them tight. You don't have to make them just the way I did, which might be a little bit tighter than this one. Put some ease in it and make it flow straight from the shoulder, and I think that's a nice look rather than having a sweater that's too tight. And if you're self-conscious about wearing tight clothes, then make it bigger. That's what I did with this one. I really didn't want it to fit tight. I put a lot of ease in it. The side-to-side measurement in the front is the same as the back, so I have the same ease going on both sides. This has elbow-length sleeves, and the sleeves are cuffed. And one suggestion is when you're making sleeves like this, out of a kind of a thin fabric, and you want to cuff the sleeve, instead of having to sew the cuff where it is, so you know I can wear these down or up however I want to wear them, but the bottom of the sleeve is done in a smaller hook size. The last row is done with an I hook on this particular sweater. I used a J for the fabric, so I used an I hook for the neckband, and for the end of the sleeve I used an I hook, and that makes the last row just a tiny bit tighter so that when you fold these up, they grab and they don't fall down, and you don't have to sew them up to make them stay. And then you can also wear them down or up, so you don't have to be locked into a cuff that's been stitched on permanently. So I used a little bit smaller hook around the edge so that it would grab that crochet fabric and not fall down. So just a little tip there. I also put vents on the sides. Let me back up just a little bit. I used a vent design element on the side. It's very easy to do. And if you're making maybe the sweater out of a solid color, you could use a contrasting color around the bottom or around the neckband or even the bottoms of the sleeves. Just join on your new yarn, the contrasting color on the sleeve where you want it to flip up and be a cuff. There are lots of things you can do with this pattern. I really, really like it. It's one of my favorites. So I went out and put it on Etsy this morning, and so you can go out there and take a look at it. If you haven't already done so, join the community. There's a link down in the description box that you can click on and fill out the information, and there'll be a 20% discount code for you to use in my Etsy shop on anything you want to buy. So that's for my community, and if you haven't joined up, go ahead and do that. If you've already joined the community, you can go directly to the Etsy shop and use the discount code that you received when you did join the community. So just wanted to let y'all know that. The second thing I want to talk about today is some new fall designs that I'm coming out with. Some sweaters that I'm making for fall. And I also have plans for some holiday sweaters as well, so I'm going to be coming out with those too. I'm working really hard on new designs. I want to give y'all lots of things to make so that you can be successful in designing sweaters that fit you and tops that fit you. That is my focus with this channel, is to offer ideas and patterns that you can use to design a sweater to fit yourself. You can use any yarn you want. You can use any hook size you want. You can make it any way you want. And I just give you the pattern outline. And I do details around neck scoops and sleeves and things like that you will need some detail on. But, you know, the basic fit of the sweater is up to you. Now, if you are a very small person or a fluffier person, I've been there, done that. And I always struggled with pattern sizes because I'm a petite only because I'm short. I'm a petite, and so the length measurements are always wrong on patterns. They don't make anything to fit petite women or short women, and a lot of us are short. You know, anything under 5'2" is considered kind of short, and so the measurement from your bust to your hips, for example, is going to be smaller than somebody taller. And when you make a pattern by a standard size, and I've looked at the standard sizes, they're fine going around, But when you talk about the length of the sweater or the stretch of the sweater, it's going to be too long. And so therefore, the waist of the sweater is going to fall too low, and it falls near your hips, and you think that doesn't fit. The waist needs to be up higher because that's where you're smaller at the waist. And I don't think a lot of the pattern designers even realize that, because maybe they're tall people, I don't know. But being a short person, I understand that. So when I say to measure yourself from your shoulder to the hem of the sweater, that gives you the power to make the sweater exactly how you need it, not according to somebody saying you have to do 62 rows to make the sweater a certain size, and you follow along and then you find out the sweater doesn't fit. So my idea is to let you decide how long the sweater is and how big the sweater is around. And then I'll give you some detailed information about putting on neckbands and sleeves and, you know, hem designs and things like that that are different. But the basic fit of the pattern is yours, and you're designing your own pattern because you're using the yarn that you want. And you can certainly make it out of the yarn that I suggest, but you can use the yarn that you want and the hook sizes that you want. And I give you some direction about how to select your hook sizes for the different parts of the sweater so that it will fit right when you crochet the sweater. It will fit correctly. I do have some fall designs that I'm working on, and so I'm excited about those. I have several acquisitions that I want to talk about. First of all, from one of my wonderful viewers told me where to find the green Serenity yarn by Deborah Norville. It is not by Deborah Norville anymore, but I think I have found it. It's made by Willow, and it's in their Guppy line, which is really a cute line of yarns. They're all different colors, and this is called it's 100% Draylon, which is acrylic. It's made in Turkey. You can find it on Willow Yarns, willowyarns.com, W-I-L-L-O-W yarns.com, and I will put a link down in the description box. This color is called, here we go, let's turn it this way. This color is called Lily Pad, and it is a dead ringer for that Deborah Norville Serenity Garden yarn that I used, and I had so many people ask me where to get it. And unless you go on eBay and find just a random skein of that yarn, it's not available anywhere. So apparently somebody at Willow came up with it or bought the design or whatever it is, but I bought a ball of this, and I might put it in a giveaway or I might use it. I don't think I'm going to use it though, because I've already made a scarf out of it, but this may go in a future giveaway, I don't know. But I just wanted y'all to know where to find it. If you wanted to find the green, beautiful green yarn that Deborah Norville used to put out, then this is where you find it, at willowyarns.com. Another color that I ordered, I just couldn't resist, is for Christmas. And I'm going to probably make something for Christmas out of this. But this is also the Willow Guppy line, and this is called Tugboat. I don't know why they called it Tugboat, but it's the red and charcoal color. It's not really black, but I might put a black edging on something. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, and it would look beautiful with black, but that is not really black. That's kind of a charcoal color. But it's a beautiful red, and it's called Tugboat. If you're interested in ordering any, I'll put the link down there to the Willow yarns, and you can just search in there for it. It's pretty easy to find. So Tugboat and Lily Pad are the two colors that I ordered from Willow Yarns, and I really like those. They're so soft and so easy to work with. And they're actually called a number 3 here. And that's not a number 3, that's really more of a 2. And the Deborah Norville was a number 2 as well, so I'm pretty sure these are a number 2. Also, I received and you've already seen this probably from everywhere, but the new KnitCrate that came, I'm a member of them, I'm a subscriber to that for the monthly, and I did change my preference to the Energize Me selection of yarn. This is the European Robin colorway, and it's a kind of a rust color, and they put some gray in there. It is not quite as deep a color as that, if you can see that. This is the color that I saw on the web, and this is the color that I received. It is not as deep as this color in the book or on the web, and I like it okay. I'll probably make a cowl and a hat out of this. I have kind of a plan for that. So I have a I like the KnitCrate Knitology. This is not as soft as the Vita Lana, which we have received earlier in one of our knit crates. I went out and ordered this, and it's called Tapenade. That's the colorway. It is 70% merino wool, 20% silk, 10% cashmere in a sport weight, and I love, love, love this. I will be making something out of this, but I ordered some of it, and it's very, very soft. This is not nearly as soft as that. This is Knitology brand, and also a KnitCrate exclusive. It's called, it's 100% superwash merino. So the reason this is soft is probably because it has cashmere and silk in it, and this does not. So it's just a different blend of yarns, and it does matter how they feel. So I will not be making a sweater out of this, but I could make a cowl and a hat out of that, and so that's my plan for that particular yarn. This yarn I'll be making a sweater out of because I really, really, really like it. Now, the pattern book that came out is gorgeous as usual. It's done in a very beautiful paper. The crochet pattern is very cute. It's done with the alpine stitch, and if you'll go out to Creative Grandma, she does a stitch tutorial every week, and last week's was the alpine stitch, so you might jump over there and take a look at it and learn how to do that on her site, and then make your pattern out of the one in here. And actually they're very simple. It's not difficult at all. I've looked at it, and it should be very easy to make. So there's some really beautiful patterns in here. The last pattern is the plumage socks, which if I could knit, I would be knitting those socks. I really like that. Oh, it's so beautiful, beautiful. But they say that they're crocheted. They're not. They're actually knit. I saw that and I thought, those are not crocheted, because if they are, I'll be crocheting those today. But they were not. That is a knit pattern. But all in all, I love the inspirations books that come out. I saved them all. I've got them in a file, and when I do go back and make something, I really like the titmouse scarf. I made it, and I love, love, love it. And if I could make another one out of the same yarn, I might do that. I might make that pattern again, and so I know where to find it in my file. So that's just something I'm thinking about. Another acquisition that I've made is a huge acquisition from Lion Brand. And because they had their Shawl in a Ball on sale, I bought a bunch of it because I love Shawl in a Ball. I've used it many, many times. And I'll probably make something, probably design something actually, and use Shawl in the Ball to make it. So I ordered several colors, and I just want to bring those to you just really quickly. This is Prism. This is a combination of jewel colors. If you can see that, it's beautifully done. And Shawl in the Ball is a beautiful yarn. It is easy to work with. I've not found it hard to work with at all. It has a little bit of a halo on it. It's a little bit hard to frog out. If you make something out of this, you might have difficulty frogging out because of the halo that's on here. And when you stitch it together, sometimes the halos on different stitches get attached to each other. So it's hard to frog out. But if you're making something simple, you probably wouldn't be doing that. So I like that particular Shawl in the Ball. Here's another one that I truly love. And I've actually used this before. And the colorway is Lotus Blossom. And I made my daughter a beautiful scarf out of this. No, a beautiful shawl out of this a couple years ago. And they still have the color. Now when I reached in to try to pull it from the center, I ended up with this. And some yarns are easy to work with like that. I did manage to get most of it rolled back up, but I might have to cut this off. It's not very much yarn, but sometimes that'll happen to you when you reach in and try to pull from the inside. But rather than the yarn flopping around the whole time you're trying to make a garment, it's much better if you can pull from the side. But I didn't have that luck with this, so I'll probably have to cut that little piece off, which is fine. It's not going to be a huge deal, because actually Shawl in the Ball has a lot of yards on it, and I think it's 481 yards on a ball. That's huge. And so one ball is all you really ever have to make. Unless you're making a huge shawl, then you may need 2 balls. I never need that because I'm more in the shawlette category. I like to make smaller shawls because I'm a smaller person. I'm just short and I don't need these long shawls. This is another Mellow Muse, and I thought that was really beautiful. It is lavender, but it's also got a warm color in here, which is almost a rust. So I don't know how that's going to look together, but I thought I would give it a whirl. I really love the colors in here. There's actually a tiny bit of green in there too, so they were just kind of throwing colors everywhere on that one. This one is Jade Pool, and I have actually, I think I bought 2 of these because they're so gorgeous. No, that's a different one. This is Jade Pool, and if you've never seen this color in person, it is really gorgeous. It is all shades of turquoise, and inside is almost a little bit of olive green to kind of set it off. So I think that's going to be a nice look. So I might give that a whirl as well. This is called Jade Pool, and Pool, beautifully done. I really like their choice of color on that one. This one is very similar to that, and this is Pastel Pixie, and what this has in it is a little bit of pink in the middle. And it's the same turquoise colors on the outside, but it runs into the pink on the inside. So I thought that was a nice touch. That's a nice touch and a nice color combination. I know I'll probably never make all these up, but I couldn't resist because they were only $2 a piece. And you can always use shawl in a ball. Moonstone is one of my favorites. This is a sparkly yarn, and I've made I made a shawl out of this. Actually, let me get it for you. I made it out of this beautiful shawl, but this is a scarf, excuse me. I made this out of the same colors, but it doesn't have the sparkly in it. So when they came out with the sparkly color similar to this one, I really wanted to get a ball of it. So I did. I bought this, and this is called Moonstone, and it is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the sparkly. Yes, you can right there. And it actually runs into almost a gray in here, but the blues really set that off. So I can't wait to try that one as well. Now, I have a whole box of this stuff. I just wanted to show these to you. The colorways on here are beautiful. This is a neutral, and it's called Namaste Neutrals. And this is the brown, and I love it, love it. I can't wait to make something out of it. And it's also a sparkly yarn as well. So I might try to make a shawl out of that or something. I really like it because it goes with so many things. And it's sparkly, so it look pretty with black. Another ball that I purchased is called Wind Chimes, and this is beautiful too. This is a beautiful blue and white. There are no other colors in there that I can see. And if you look at the colorway on the outside, you can always tell what other colors they're using. And I don't see any others but blue and kind of a creamier white color. So if you want to stay with just one color, you can do that with Shawl in a Ball. And I'm really excited about working with those. One of these may end up in a giveaway or something, but I bought them because they were on sale and I couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist. I don't have to use them all at once, but I will be using those in my holiday designs and gifts to give away. I've got some landscape yarn as well that I'm going to be using as scarves and shawls. So I'm all set for Christmas. I don't think I'm going to need a whole lot of other yarn, although I did make another order from Lion Brand for their comfy cotton, and I'm going to make something out of the red. I really like comfy cotton. I have some ideas that I'm going to present to my viewers, and you can see what you think. Tomorrow is giveaway day, so the winners of my giveaway will be announced tomorrow. So join me then and every time to find out what's on the hook.